Hey, Dr. Brad Murray, High Performance Health. We've been talking a little bit about the pelvic tilting and how it modulates the low back, particularly the posterior pelvic tilt that seems to be a little bit problematic with more people than the anterior pelvic tilt. A lot of people tend to be stuck in that anterior pelvic tilt, and we want to try to open them up by getting them closer towards that posterior pelvic tilting to activate the glutes, activate the front core, open up the hip flexors, and open up some of the lumbar erectors or low back muscles for those people that get those tight low backs associated with that anterior tilt. We've done some mobility, some testing. Now I'm going to show you a little bit of a strengthening drill called the posterior plank. So really simple. We're just going to get into that posterior tilt. We're going to do that after we've done some of the mobility exercises like the kneeling hip flexor stretch, or even just the standing posterior anterior tilting sequence, or even something like a cat camel to open up those hips. After you've done that, you're going to be ready to do a little bit of that strengthening or activating of the gluteals anterior core. This guy's really simple. It's going to be on your back like this. Going to have your feet raised. You can use a couch, a chair, it doesn't matter. Height's not too important either, but something generally in this vicinity is pretty good. So first thing I want to do is make sure I'm getting a full posterior pelvic tilt with this drill. My low back should be very quiet and rested on the mat, and the pelvis should be fully tilted, glutes entirely off the mat. Next thing that you'll notice is once I get into a full tilt, I'm going to externally rotate my feet. That's going to help that external rotation component of the gluteals along with that posterior tilt. Then we're going to do a little bit of activation with our anterior core, and I'm going to get the pelvis all the way up off the ground. The strain should be in the glutes, not in the hamstring, not in the low back. If you're feeling it in those areas, you're probably not maintaining that posterior tilt, or you're allowing a bend to occur in the legs, or the legs aren't rotating. So be careful not to do that, and not to arch that back up. All I want to do here is tilt the pelvis, externally rotate the feet, drive up off the mat. You're going to hold this for about 3 seconds and then back down. A harder version of this is the exact same thing, that posterior tilt all the way, drive up, and then keep this nice and flat. Lift a leg off, back down, other leg off, back down. You can do any sort of versions of this using the one leg, making sure you're able to really maintain that posterior tilt so all the strain's felt in the glutes, and that as you lift the opposite leg, you feel an extension of the leg that's still up, with those glutes being the main activator here. Simple drill, try it.